Holy crap. Welcome into NBA Now, everyone. We don't even need me on screen for that much longer. I'm Harris Rubenstein. Let's just get right into this Jimmy Butler trade saga. You guys don't need to hear from me. Lena, this is the craziest thing that I have ever seen in the NBA. Not only do we have someone demanding a trade, we have Jimmy Butler going to Minnesota Timberwolves practices and calling out every single important member of the team, including my mother, somehow mixed up in this entire situation. So first things first, Jimmy Butler randomly showed up at the Timberwolves practice with only 1 hour left in the entire session, then proceeded to call out everyone at the practice, including head coach Tom Thibodeau, GM Scott Lydon, the owner Glenn Taylor, proceeded to then call both Karl-Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins a bitch and also soft, and then screamed at the entire front office, quote, "You fucking need me, you can't win without me." But my favorite part of this entire situation is when Jimmy Butler, this is amazing, took the entire third-string Minnesota Timberwolves team, which included Luol Deng, Justin Patton, and a bunch of rookies, and beat Karl-Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Jeff Teague, and Taj Gibson, also known as the entire first-string roster for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the most interesting part of this entire situation is that ESPN just so happened to be in Minnesota right after this situation went down because, you know, there's no such thing in life as a coincidence, right? So Rachel Nichols decided to interview Jimmy Butler after this catastrophe of a practice. Jimmy Butler, the first thing he said was, quote, "All of my emotions came out at once." Yeah, I don't know if that was as much emotions as it was he's just done with his entire organization. So here we go. Let's start with Jimmy Butler talking about, his relationship with the Timberwolves and exactly where he thinks this entire saga is going to go.
It could be. It could be. But do I think so? No. Because you got to be honest. I'm being honest. Do I think so? No. I'm being honest with you. Mm-hmm. But is everybody going to be honest? No. No, everybody's not going to be honest. Like if you go and say, which one of y'all told what Jimmy said today in practice? Everybody, no, I don't know. You ain't be honest. I don't care. There ain't nothing we can do about it now, but be honest.
You love it. He's claiming dishonesty on the part of the team because there's leaks coming out of the Timberwolves, and somehow Adrian Wojnarowski keeps ending up with all these scoops. He sounds like Donald Trump. There's leakers everywhere. But I can't believe that Jimmy Butler would stoop to this level. This is mic drop, scorched earth kind of stuff here, people. If they don't trade him after this, I will not understand what the Timberwolves are looking for out of the situation. Butler straight up went into Timberwolves practice, called out Andrew Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns, two former #1 overall picks, and also two players currently on max contracts given to them by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl-Anthony Towns about 2 weeks ago, by the way, on that contract. Here's what Jimmy Butler had to say in the same ESPN interview about Andrew Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns. Take a look.
I'm not the most talented player. Who's the most talented player on our team? Cat. Who's the most God-gifted player on our teams? Wiggs. Wiggs got the longest arms, biggest hands, can jump the highest, can run the fastest. But, who plays the hardest? Me. I play hard. I play really hard. I put my body on the line every day in practice, every day in the games. That's my passion. That's how I give to the game. That's how I give to you guys. And everybody wants to talk about some leadership. Everybody leads in different ways. That's how I show I'm here for you. I want you to be great.
So just to kind of summarize what he said there, he's basically saying that Karl-Anthony Towns is the best player on the team, Wiggins is the most talented player on the team, but Jimmy Butler works the hardest. Therefore, he's allowed to call everyone a bitch during a live practice. So maybe the best part about all this is the reports that we were getting about the coaches during this whole situation, which were that they all loved this. They loved every single second of what Jimmy Butler did, with one source saying, quote, "He really kicked their ass. This was not orchestrated at all." Sure, I'm sure ESPN and Rachel Nichols just randomly end up in Minnesota on a random Wednesday. That's exactly what ESPN should be doing with their time with NBA season in about 6 days. Well, now 5 days. But this is flabbergasting to me. Flabbergasting. Because not only if you're Jimmy Butler, you're still continuing to ask for a trade, what team would even want to trade for Jimmy Butler right now? Like, I get it. He's a hard-working player. He likes getting the most out of his teammates. This is now the third team he has destroyed. I'm very confused as to what team would actually want to trade for Jimmy Butler. So let's summarize this with a big old timeline. I love timelines. Let's break this down. First things first, Jimmy Butler turns down the Timberwolves contract offer to start the offseason. Apparently, what didn't get reported, though, was that Butler requested a trade 2 weeks after the season initially ended. He went to Tom Thibodeau, said he didn't want to be on the team anymore. The Timberwolves didn't believe him, and he spent the entire offseason without internet or television to train for the upcoming season. So Jimmy Butler didn't really know what was going on all offseason and basically ignored the Timberwolves. So again, Timberwolves don't take his trade request seriously, and then Butler makes his trade request public. He uses his agent and the multiple ways that you can get sources into the media by saying the Timberwolves won't trade me, I want out of here. So then Butler misses the team media day, which was widely expected because he's still demanding a trade and he doesn't actually want to be a part of the team. The Timberwolves still somehow retain their ridiculously high asking price. Ridiculously high asking price. Like, they want a first-round pick plus a young player plus a veteran as well. So Jimmy Butler decides to take revenge by destroying Karl-Anthony Towns and destroying Andrew Wiggins at practice and then going off at the ESPN interview. I just cannot believe that we have gotten this far on this trade timeline. So there's two trains of thought here with this situation. A, what Butler is doing is completely acceptable as a late first-round pick, watching two former first overall picks not show any effort or toughness. He is the leader of this team, and young players commonly need a kick in the ass. He's a top 12 player, and that's what matters. Or he is a complete team cancer and has never had a team succeed with him on it. This is his third group of guys he has now split apart and caused the ruckus. He's a good player, sure, but you can't win a title with Jimmy Butler as your best player. So the fact that he acts just as incredibly strange and unnecessary is so unneeded. Some guys just are the way that they are. But at the end of the day, if you haven't won anything, why act that way in the first place? Very strange to me. Again, we'll keep you guys updated on everything revolving the Jimmy Butler trade saga. As well, you should go to subscribe to the new NBA channel that Chat Sports has. Go to chatsports.com/NBA TV or go on YouTube and search NBA Now by Chat Sports. You can get all the updates on the Jimmy Butler trade situation. Let's get into our next NBA rumor here because I can't talk about Jimmy Butler anymore. Rozier and the Celtics are discussing an extension. Kind of surprising seeing as Kyrie Irving is returning, and they also just gave Marcus Smart a new extension as well. They do have until October 15th to officially come to terms, but as of right now, I would deem that highly, highly unlikely. What is likely is me kicking your guys' butts this year on FanDuel. Once the NBA season starts, I'm going to be doing weekly games with you guys. And if you deposit now, you can get $20 free with your first deposit. Head to FanDuel.com/chatsports to get the best deal out there on the internet. Again, if you like fantasy basketball like I do, challenge me. I'll kick your guys' asses, no problem, any day of the week. So again, head to FanDuel.com/chatsports. Let's get into our next rumor here. Mitchell Robinson is going to spend a little bit of time in the G League. Why? Well, he didn't play basketball last year, and the Knicks want to get him as much playing time as possible. This is a great idea. Fantastic idea. This is what I said they should do during the draft. Just let him spend most of his first season in the G League. He'll be back in the NBA at some point this year, but for now, he just needs minutes. He needs to play basketball, and he's not going to get that at the NBA level right now. There's a lot of just veteran centers on the Knicks, and Mitchell Robinson at this time is probably not going to get a ton of time in the NBA. Let's get into our next rumor here. Montreal might get an NBA team. Very interesting. Michael Fortier, a Canadian businessman, is leading a group to try to get a team to Montreal, which again, very strange, seeing as Vancouver is also in the running for a team, but why are we going to give any Canadian city another team before Seattle gets another one? It just seems futile. Why? Vancouver lost the Grizzlies. Montreal couldn't even handle the Expos. I know that Seattle lost the Supersonics, but hell, let's get an American city a team first before we give it to another Canadian city. So probably not going to happen anytime soon, but hey, credit Montreal for trying. We have a couple announcements here for USA Basketball. Greg Popovich announced who his assistant coaches are going to be in what has to be the most stacked coaching team ever. Greg Popovich is the head coach. Steve Kerr, Nate McMillan, and Jay Wright all hired as assistant coaches for USA Basketball. USA Basketball, this is why they are elite. They hire the best. They bring in the best players. This is great. I can't wait to see USA Basketball just dominate people for the rest of time. This is interesting, though. I wonder which of these three assistant coaches will end up taking over for Greg Popovich when he inevitably leaves USA Basketball. Because when Krzyzewski wanted to leave, he brought on Popovich as his assistant coach. Now that Popovich is here, I wonder if one of these three guys will end up being the next coach. Steve Kerr most likely will be the guy, but I wonder. Jay Wright, hot take, should end up being the head coach of USA Basketball. If you want to look as good as I do on air, you got to get yourself a Mizzen and Main shirt. I'm going with the long sleeves today. Usually I got them rolled up, but it's actually pretty chilly outside. But it doesn't matter because I'm comfortable either way. I wear these to bed. I wear these out, for drinks. I wear these to work. Best dress shirts that you will find anywhere on the internet. Head to www.comfortable.af to get your Mizzen and Main shirt today. Our last rumor, or I guess piece of news, is a sad one. Tex Winter, one of the great basketball assistants in the history of the sport, passed away yesterday. A lot of people think that Phil Jackson created the triangle offense. That's not true. Tex Winter actually created the triangle offense. Inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame back in 2011, one of the only coaches, I should say, who is a member of both the NBA Hall of Fame and the College Basketball Hall of Fame. He helped win 9 championships. He won 6 with the Bulls and then 3 with the Lakers in the late 90s, early 2000s. So great career for Tex Winter. Sad to see him go. If you want to learn more about him, just look him up. The dude had an incredible basketball career, and also look at the reception he's getting from a lot of the NBA players on social media.